Hey, what's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and right now we're getting ready to have a six-pack challenge match with Potsy and Tino on the big podcast show. Holla, the player.
You ruined my thunder.
I have to say something.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, if you don't like what you just heard, we're going to set you up with a match against The Undertaker. You'll go one-on-one. Anyways, it's the Potsy and Tino show. He's Tino Gray. I'm Rob Potsy Podchak. Our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. You can catch us right here, right now. We are on Twitch. We are on YouTube. We already got a comment in the audience. It's Joe Lowe. What's up, my friend? Tino, we always start the show with what's up with you, but I normally throw it over to you. I'm going to take a moment because... for those that don't necessarily follow my YouTube page or my Facebook page, heck, I think I even posted it on my Twitter, my X handle, whatever you want to call it, my Instagram. This time of year is supposed to be about giving, sharing, caring, all that good stuff. And I had my birthday on the 22nd, which we didn't do a show last week, unfortunately, because we were both busy with other things, or at least one of us was on
saw Iron Claw.
And so we were both busy with other things. Yeah. We were both busy with other things, watching that terrible Ric Flair.
God. The good Harley race, though.
Great Harley race. Yeah. All the Von Erichs looked like the Von Erichs.
The hair, though, dude. Their hair, the Von Erichs hair. I couldn't.
Well, the guy that was Kerry Von Erich,
dude,
I was like, they found an actor that looks just like, and he was good.
But the main character, the Kevin, that hair,
the bowl cut.
Dude, no.
I mean, it's what he looked like. But Zac Efron, who played that character,
I mean, when it came, he was ripped. He said, like, I was like, God damn. Like, he got in shape.
Well, he was, so when he did Baywatch, he was in shape, but he was lean cut.
Dude,
now he had like that. He had that like barrel chest with abs, and you're like, and by the way, obviously we're a wrestling show, folks. Want to go ahead and let everybody know that Zac Efron recently said if he were to get called by one of the wrestling companies, he would participate.
I wonder how much, because I'm sure he had to go through some kind of training camp or wrestling school. I wonder if he could maybe start an NXT. You think he can make it transition?
Well, it wasn't just him. They all did. Yeah. They all did it. But it was just about so heels and everything else. Chavo Guerrero was was the guy that was actually like teaching them how to wrestle, and they said all the stunts were done by them.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So like when you see them diving off the top and everything, that's them.
That's cool. That's cool, though. That's cool.
So it really is cool.
I'd probably see AEW probably call him for WWE.
I mean, I could talk about what I was going to talk about in a minute. We might as well talk about the Iron Claw. If you guys haven't seen it, thanks Joe for the happy birthday wishes. I really appreciate that.
I don't want to ruin it for anything.
The Iron Claw. No, we're not going to ruin it.
Okay.
Like
spoilers.
I won't try to spoil anything. I really think that it was truly about the love that brothers have for each other. It was about the oldest brother never getting the love and admiration of his father that he would hope for.
Well, he wasn't the oldest.
Oh, that's right. But you know what I mean. The oldest out of the ones that they were showing.
Carrie's my favorite.
5 minutes into the movie,
fucked up.
Y'all know Carrie's my favorite, and then this one, and then this one. But the movie was really about Kevin Von Erich, the only surviving Von Erich brother, played by Zac Efron, like I mentioned, and I thought he killed it.
Oh God, yes,
he was so good. But
who does the country accent better, him or your boy from Hills?
Him, because I'll tell you, Stephen Amell. first of all, I said this earlier tonight where I was, and I don't know if I've ever said it to you, but I hate fake accents. Okay, like I hate when you meet a girl or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, I can do a British accent." She's like, oh, "Would you like to hear me?" And it's like, no, I don't want to hear you do any fake accent. Just speak like you speak. Like if you got a Southern accent, fine. If you don't have a Southern accent, fine. But if you start speaking with a fake accent, I'm gonna pick it apart because when you actually hear like a British actor like Tom Holland speaking like a British person, he sounds completely different than anybody that sits there and tries to fake the accent.
So what about when, because it happens a lot when you have British
Actors
and they do the American accent.
So they have acting coaches that put them in that situation. So I'm talking about regular people.
Gotcha.
But it annoys them because okay. So
well, Stephen Amell's acting coach probably ain't that good then, because that Georgia accent ain't hitting on shit.
It's so you don't like it either.
No.
Yeah, no, because
I'm from the South, you know, and I can hear it and I can tell when it's fake and when it's not, and it pisses me. Yeah, and that pisses me.
No, I'm the same way, but like so.
Like I'll fuck with Nicole like Northern, like hot dog, you know, just mess with her like hot dog and coffee. And I do that because she
goes up there,
and when she gets mad, it comes out, or when she hangs around or talks to the amount of time.
But see, so
it's not fake. That's really her. But
I told this story a long time ago about how like my ex-wife and we went to New York for the first time. And
she's Southern. Is she from New York?
No, she was from here.
Yeah.
But she didn't really have a Southern accent, which was weird.
I don't think I do.
But I think it's because her parents were both teachers.
No.
So they tried to speak what they call a Midwestern accent, which is no accent. Mm-hmm. But it was, and as you can tell, I typically speak with no accent.
I think I do.
You do all right.
But when I get, my wife said, when you get drunk, or when you get mad, or you get excited,
you get a little bit, yeah. But even her, she really doesn't speak with one either. Mm-hmm. But then there was one time my ex-wife and I, when we were still together, we drove up to New York to visit my buddy John. We stopped at a little pizza place.
Like New York, or like upstate,
like Brooklyn.
Okay, that's New York. Okay, because my wife has this thing like people
like Brooklyn.
Like she's from Long Island, New York City, man. Like
yeah,
the upstate. The people, I'm from New York. Where are you from? Like Buffalo, bitch. You're not.
Yeah, you're really not. You're almost from West Virginia at that point. No, I'm kidding. I'm fucking around.
You're from Buffalo. You're from Canada, bitch.
but no, seriously. So like we went up to Brooklyn and we stopped at my favorite pizza place. It's called Manny's. And it was, I mean, it's a hole in a wall. It had 3 tables of only 2 seats each. But when you go in there and you talk to him, you'd be like, yo, what do you want? You know, like, that kind of thing.
I had to learn the hard way, too, in New York, to Little Vinny's, and I ordered pizza. And I, what? Oh, excuse me, pie. Fuck you.
Yeah, get a pie. You don't get pizza. You get a pie.
Little Vinny's. Sorry.
No, you're fine. We walk in, and there's 2 cops there. And the one sitting there, he's like, yo, Manny, hey, forget about it. Hey, that's, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm in New York. I'm in New York. At that point, I'm like, hey, yo, I'm back. This is how it is, And my ex-wife, Christy, sits there, looks at me, and she goes, he fucking said it. He said, forget about it. And all of a sudden, you see the cop look over. He goes, "What are you talking about, little lady? Huh?
Oh shit!
What you? Huh? Oh, forget about it. It's all good. And I'm like, sir, she's from North Carolina. She's never been to the city. Like, this is her first time. Please, accept my apology for." He's like, "Oh, it's all good. Hey. I get it. Like my old lady, she from like blah blah blah. Hey, forget about it." And she's like, still saying it. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, you're gonna get me killed. Like, I'm gonna get arrested. Because you're making fun of a cop. Like
fucking making fun of me.
And she's like, I didn't think people really really smoke like that. And I'm like, oh, they do.
Mhm.
They totally. And I'm ordering the pizza, like you said, the pie. I'm sitting there. I'm like, hey, let me get a slice. Let her get a slice. I just want cheese. She wants pepperoni. Blah blah blah. And he's like, I'll bring it out in like 3 minutes. Don't worry. Go sit over there. You good. You good. And
see, that's the best pizza you get because you get the New York Italian pizza. Like that's the best.
And so funny thing is, Manny, who, like I said, I've been there a couple times. Old dude, probably like 70 something, been fucking flipping the pies himself.
Yep.
Sits there and says, so you say you're in North Carolina, huh? Yeah. Heard the water's good there. Yeah, like a lot of places actually make good pie down there. Like he's like, well, I'm thinking about selling this place, like maybe look for a retirement place, like maybe North Carolina. I'm like, Manny, please, because the water's good. You're gonna like it. Still not gonna be the same. But oh my God, we went to that place like 4 times that year.
You want to hear him say, forget about it.
Well, forget about it. Forget about it. Like, not even like what people hear when they say forget about it. There's too many syllables in that. Forget about it.
Yeah, I heard about it because when I went to
Yeah.
That's another story. When I went to my first Italian wedding, yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of interesting people.
It really is, man. It really is. So Tino and I are drinking Heaven's Door tonight, by the way. Little bottles that I got. I got a 3-pack of them. There was a rye, there was a Tennessee whiskey, and then there's the double barrel bourbon, which is what you just had. What you think?
That's pretty good. I'm not a bourbon dude. That was smooth.
Smooth. And well, it was also on it was in the freezer.
Okay.
So it's always going to be smoother. But I taught you how to drink bourbon so that you don't have that burn or whatever normally anyway. But folks,
let me get a little bit. When you get a minute,
you want one?
just a little more.
Yeah, go ahead. I got 2 other flavors if you want.
Oh,
that's the air pressure because it was frozen. So folks.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. You're fine. You're fine. It's a tough thing to talk about. So
is this before you get? And I don't think of it. Did you say it's 3 years?
Just pour the rest of mine.
3 years. Oh, I was trying to be easy with it.
No, I mean it's almost empty, so we'll just finish it.
Did you say this is the 3rd birthday in a row? Is this 3rd year in a row?
That what?
You've lost somebody? Did you say it was 3? Because was it last year?
No, I don't know if it's 3rd birthday in a row that I lost somebody.
I thought it was something on your Facebook. You said something about every year about this time. It's like you lost.
Well, I always reflect on a bunch of it
Okay.
because my grandmother passed on my birthday, and that was rough because I got my birthday card like the day after Christmas.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah, so she still did everything, got the cards ready, sent them out, but
that's got to be like surreal. Like she passed it and you get this card and you open it, And I'm sorry, I mean, but I don't even know.
Well, no,
that'd be weird.
So my grandmother had 27 grandkids. Okay. And for some reason, she had like 2 favorites out of all 27. and it was the very first one, Teddy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was me. And I was like, I don't know, like 17, 18 down the line. Like there was some after me, but I wasn't anywhere near the top or the bottom. Like normally you would think, okay, first and last. Okay, they're your favorite. No, and my mom tells me that it's because when I was born, my mom would take me over to my grandmother's house all the time. Mm-hmm. And it was just because she had 2 other kids, blah, blah, blah. And she took me over there. So my grandmother had a thing for me. She's like, and what it was is she had like a cabinet, like a low cabinet that all her pots and pans were in.
Oh God.
And I would go in there and I would start throwing them around and then banging everything, dun, 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 dun. And everybody in the house would be like, would you
kill him?
Would you stop that motherfucker from
kill him?
And my grandmother would be like, always having fun. Just let him do what he's doing. So when she, and I don't even remember how many years ago it was. I was, God, it was probably 16, 17 years ago at this point, maybe even longer than that. But when she passed on my birthday. And I was going through retail management and everything else. So I hated the fucking holidays anyway. Hated the holidays, folks. And like, Tino's gonna need a ride home. No, he's only having 2.
I don't work tomorrow. I was calling Cole like, you know what?
I'm just sleeping on his couch.
She'll be like, fine.
Yeah, she would actually.
She'd be like, fine, whatever.
She'd be like, well, I'm not coming to get you.
Yeah, she's like, rather maybe save A and B. I'm at Rob's house. She said, tell
tell baby mama that he still owes me. He still owes me for child support.
Well, she said, tell baby daddy. She said, tell baby daddy happy birthday and Merry Christmas. And then, yeah, you owe money for child.
And for those that don't know, there's the long story where, for whatever reason, I always joke because Matthew, when his hair first started coming in, it was like this weird, but it was like reddish.
Yeah,
it was like a reddish afro that was coming in, and I was like, Nicole, when do we tell Tino that it's our kid? And it shows how much him and I love each other because we still talk to each other.
And she indulges. Like,
she did. She indulged.
Don't encourage him.
I mean, Matthew got to the point where he was old enough to understand what we're talking about. And he's like, why does he keep saying he's my dad? But anyways, going back to the other story, with my grandmother passed away on my birthday, and I always hated the holidays anyway because I worked retail throughout the holidays. So like everybody would be like, Rob, why don't you smile at this time of year? And it's like, because I got a fake smile all fucking day. I'm tired of smiling. Like, I just want to be by myself. I want to be alone. I want to, like,
yeah.
And
I get it.
But I mean, there was a lot of depression and everything else. You know, you and I talk about that off air all the time. But this weekend, so last week was a great week. You know, we went to go see Iron Claw for my birthday on Thursday, the night before it came out. So we were like 2 of like 7 people in the entire theater. It was great. Movie was phenomenal, except for Ric Flair.
You don't understand when you watch the movie.
There's a meme going around online right now where they're like, Will Ferrell would have been a better Ric Flair, and he would have, because in Eastbound and Down, that's pretty much who he was.
Get damn Jay Lethal shit would have been.
I would have been okay if they bleached Jay Lethal's hair and had him. if they diversified Ric Flair, but his woo was awful, and
his hair was awful. It was the right color, but the hair was awful.
I mean, it was the right length.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I was looking.
He was just too small.
Fucking Harley Race, they nailed it. They nailed Harley Race.
They literally must have gotten like Harley Race's grandkid or something to play him, because he looked.
He had the curly hair.
He felt
the beard. He was built like Harley Race.
He was a truck.
Good God, yeah.
But I mean, like I said, even the Von Erichs, I felt like all of them favored who they're supposed to favor, you know, and they showed the Freebirds. The Freebirds looked exactly like
we knew exactly what. Look
at Michael Hayes.
Bam Bam Gordy looked like. I'm like, they look like who they were supposed to be.
Even the commentator that they had, who was it? It was Gordon Soley, I think.
Was it Gordon Soley? Or no, it was
AWA.
I forget who it was, because for you said it was supposed to be.
Gagne?
Might have been. But I'll have to go back and look. But yeah,
maybe even Greg Gagne. But
it was good.
But I mean, like, I actually thought he looked like Jim Ross.
That's what you said, Jim Ross. I don't think Jim Ross was commentating.
Well, if he was, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't that guy. He wasn't that important.
Well, I remember watching AWA, and Jim Ross was never on there. Yeah, because I remember that.
I think he started in USW.
The Jerry Jarrett. He looked like Jerry Jarrett.
And by the way, as the movie ended, I literally said to Tino, I was like, did you just see what just happened on the credits? And he goes, what? And I said, it said Maxwell Jacob Friedman is the executive producer. And he goes,
no, it didn't. Because in my defense, Rob's always fucking with me and saying stupid shit. So I thought he was fucking with me being funny. But nope.
And he was supposed to play the other Von Erich brother. So there were 5 of them, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, there were 4 of them in the movie.
Yeah.
But one of them was only in there for like 10 seconds, and that's Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Okay.
And he had like a bad wig on too.
Was he in there?
He is, but apparently it's like if you sneeze, you'll miss it.
I don't remember seeing him.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. But the fact that he was executive producer means he put money into the movie to get it made.
That's cool.
And he even posted on his Facebook page. He said really proud of this piece of magic and how it came about. I keep changing subjects, folks. I want to talk about something that's kind of.
That was good. That looked like him.
And we'll keep it up because.
Well, it went away.
Well. So, again, my grandmother passed on my birthday. This year, my birthday, I just want to go ahead and get through that really quick. Tino and I hung out on Thursday. My birthday was Friday. I went out with my family on Friday. We went to the Peddler's Steakhouse off of Glenwood in Raleigh. Had 100%, not lying, not kidding, the best prime rib of my entire life.
Peddler.
The Peddler.
Okay.
It's right. It's so you know where O'Malley's is.
Yes.
So.
Oh yeah.
There's that little place that looks like a house
Mm-hmm.
in the corner, and it is a steakhouse. They do not take reservations. They open at 5. We were out there at 4:15, and there was a line of people.
Yeah. That's over there by the Italian restaurant. My father-in-law likes.
Yes, Cugino or something like that. But we go over there. Like I said, had the best prime rib of my entire life. Now, normally on my birthday, I try to hang out with friends and everything else as well. But when dinner got over and everything, it was like 8:30. So normally I would have been like, okay, if it was like 7:15 or whatever, okay, I'll head over to Ruckus. I'll see everybody that's there. Because normally on Friday night, it's like my friend Lexi and my friend Chris working. And I didn't go. I stayed home. I watched another Christmas movie. I think I don't even remember what I watched. At that point, I probably watched Spirited on Apple TV, which was the Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds Scrooge, which, by the way, is excellent. I don't know if you've watched it. It really is good.
I gotta check it out.
And it's a musical, and the 2 of them sing.
Oh, damn.
So it's impressive because you don't expect either of them to sing. Like Will Ferrell, you kind of expect to sing in a movie, and it's always bad.
Ryan Reynolds.
But yeah, Ryan Reynolds singing, and I was like, oh, okay. I watched it because I had Apple TV this year because of my buddy Chris. Well,
when you called me that late, I'm like, this motherfucker needs me to get him out of jail. I thought you.
Well, there's 2 reasons. There's 2 reasons why I call at that hour. And yes, the one of them is that. Which, by the way, would make this guy laugh. The other reason why you make a phone call that late is because someone passed away. Someone that people know. Tino didn't really know him, but I'll put it this way. He was the kind of person, so my buddy Chris Marusa passed away. And he was the kind of guy that when you met him, he instantly became your friend.
Yeah, he was a cool dude.
When you'd walk in, because he was a bartender, he would know exactly what you wanted to drink. If he didn't know exactly what you wanted to drink, because you might be like, oh, I try the different specialty beers, he would know that you like the specialty beers, and he would bring you the beer menu and be like, hey, this is new, this is new, this is new. So even if he didn't know exactly what you drank, he knew what you drank.
Okay.
But not just that. I have a very specific story about him that.
Well, we told the story when you guys went to when you went to.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
We told him.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I did. I told the story about how we went to the very redneck bar.
Yeah.
And how he instantly was accepted there.
I think it's the hair.
Probably. So he had long hair and whatever.
It was the hair.
But I didn't go to Ruckus on Friday night because I was like, I've already had a couple drinks. People were buying me drinks at the peddler. Like these two really attractive young ladies were like, "Oh, it's your birthday? Let's get you a shot." And then all of a sudden, my mom was like, "Let me buy those shots." And the bartender came over and said, "Oh no, we comped those. You're good." Nice. Like, so yeah, like I don't know if it's just my demeanor, my personality. I don't know what it is. No, I'm kidding. It had nothing to do with me. I was sitting in the corner. I was like, God, stop talking about duck farts.
Oh, okay.
Because that was the drink we had.
Okay.
Which is Bailey's Kahlua Crown Royal. If you've never had it, it's actually very good. Okay. It's like a Black Russian with Crown Royal in it. Okay. So, but anyways, I didn't go out, and I normally would have. The next day, 2:00 in the afternoon, I'm like, I'm gonna go out to Ruckus. I'm gonna see if there's football on. I had a
Saturday. I thought you called me Friday. It was Saturday you called me.
Friday was my birthday. Saturday was when I called you.
Got it.
And I was like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna be doing some artwork because I have to get my cover done for the 3rd issue of Zor. And then a buddy of mine actually, like, I was joking with him. I was like, hey man, I kind of like your character. You mind if I play around with it and like try to do a cover for you? And he was like, oh God, that'd be awesome, blah, 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 whatever. So I'm like, okay. So I went out there. I had 2 pieces of art, one that I needed to finish, one that I was going to work on. And sit there, and a dude just randomly starts talking to me about how in 2024, the X-Men are being rebooted by the comic book series. And I'm just having a conversation with him. And before you know it, like 2 of us are sitting there, we're sipping on something. And I go, hey, I got to use this restroom. I go to the restroom. I come back, and I have a text message and a voicemail. And normally I take my phone with me to the bathroom. Like I'm one of those. It's funny. I'll leave my iPad, which is what we're doing the show on. I'll leave my iPad exactly where it was. $1,200 iPad. I'll just leave that there, but I'll take my $200 phone with me to the bathroom because it's like I don't want my phone stolen. But I come back and I have a voicemail and I've got a text message, and it's from my buddy CJ. And CJ is one of the people that we talk about wrestling with on a regular basis. And he says, it just says, I don't know if you heard, but Chris passed away. And I'm like,
Chris who?
I'm like, which fucking Chris?
Yeah.
Like literally, which fucking Chris passed away? And I get a phone call, and it's him. And he's like, hey, big Chris from the bar, Chris Marusa. And I'm like, no fucking way. Like, no. Is he fucking with us? And he's like, no, dude. Like, so Chris lived with like 4 roommates. They had like a 1,600 square foot place. So they all had like enough space for them and everything. But apparently he had been complaining on Friday night about his glands being swollen. And apparently his neck was already pretty big because he's a big dude. But apparently his neck was really, like, his throat was sticking out, like,
he should have gone
inflamed. And he went home after working. He was still in good spirits. Everything else. Went home after that. Apparently started playing a video game, fell asleep at playing the video game, and never woke up. So there's good and there's bad in that. The bad obviously is that our friend isn't here anymore. But the good about it is that, like, you never want to be that person that goes, yeah. And I can't say that he wasn't that person, but it sounds like he passed in his sleep. But I heard about it at like 3:00 in the afternoon on Saturday. And one of his roommates found him.
Man.
At least somebody found him.
Yeah, but I hate to be that.
Well,
that person.
Well, Tino, I want to be real with you right now. If I were to pass on like a Monday, like just a random Monday, you'd probably walk in my house on Thursday night to do our show, and that's when you'd find me. Yeah. Because I live alone. Yeah. And so at least somebody was there.
That's why I text you.
That's why you and I stay in contact. That's like, am I great about it with everybody? No. But
You hear about it with me.
I mean, I'm like an
TikToks,
immediate. I'm like an immediate. Well,
between texts and TikToks,
I
hear from you every fucking day.
My favorite thing on like TikToks or whatever are the ones now where it's like, did you just send me 750 TikToks while sitting on the shitter? Damn right I did.
Because I was sitting there working and be like, bling, bling, bling. I'm like, fuck you, Rob, fuck you, Rob, fuck you, Rob. Every time a new one comes up.
You know, Joe was asking about the Iron Claw. Yes, it's kind of like a biopic. It's really a telling from Sean Durkin is the director of it. He wrote it. He directed it. He actually removed one of the brothers from the film because he died in a very similar way to one of the other brothers. So even Kevin Von Erich was like, that made sense.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to sit there and just add another death in the whole thing. But yeah, with Chris.
So when are they going to have the memorial and funeral? I know you're going to be going to all of that. So when is that?
So there's a Facebook page that is explaining just about all of it.
Okay.
They're kind of putting up a thing because so he was cremated, I believe, yesterday. His family's going to get his ashes and everything, and they're going to do their own thing for him. But then everybody else, sorry, I'm burping. They're going to do like some sort of memorial or whatever for him here, probably second week of January or something like that. If you knew him, there's a Facebook group called Remembering Chris Marusa. So you can actually go and actually pull that up. And as they get the information, they're going to post it. What I'll say about that is that I was commissioned to do a piece of art. I had already drawn like a black and white piece of art of him. And the owners of Ruckus, where he worked, asked me to do something. So I actually, I mean,
Robert shut out
money. Yeah. Surprise! Hey, if you're watching, thank you,
Robert.
Yeah. I think Phil actually, the owner of that one.
The last Ruckus funeral I went to was Ryan Pills when Pills died.
I don't know if I knew Ryan, but I knew Kelly, the young blonde guy who was a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Yeah.
And
Pills is one of the owners. He started Pill when he was with them when they did the first one in Mission Valley. And Pills was just like a bar manager. He worked his way up. He started him and Mike Miller were both. Yeah,
I knew Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is that like they came to me and they said, hey, we're thinking about commissioning you to do a piece of art.
That'd be cool.
And I did, and you've seen it now. But I went back to them and I was like, I'll absolutely do the piece of art. You guys can tell me like what your budget is, everything else. And I cut them a break on what I would actually normally charge for something. But
are they going to hang it? I'm sorry.
It's hung in the Morrisville one right now.
The Morrisville.
But they asked for one for each because he was known at all of the Ruckuses.
So there's like four. There's Mission Valley. Yeah, Mission Valley. Cary, Apex, and Morrisville.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
four.
So
the same one, or are you going to different?
I printed the same one out. Got them all printed. Bought frames for them. So last night, for example, they were doing music bingo at the Morrisville one, and I brought them. I framed the first one and brought them in. They were framing the other ones today, but put it up, and before you know it, one of the managers put a beer next to it. Then one of the regulars bought a shot of Jameson because that's what he would have drank, put it next to it. So everybody was actually asking the bartenders to bring the shot over so they could cheers the shot and everything else. It was really cool. So I mean, even if people can't make it to like a memorial for him, we've had 3 days of memorials for him already. But they actually hung the art today, and I think it'll be up for.
Where is it, above the bar?
So it is when you walk in to the Ruckus in Morrisville. The way that it is they've got a long restaurant portion, and then they've got the bar on the left.
Where we sit.
And there's that TV area.
We're sitting in the bar, that area over there.
Well, so when it splits, it's like the pillar.
Okay.
And it's right there on the pillar facing
That's cool.
everybody that walks in.
That's cool.
And the art came out great. I normally try to be humble about my art, but I think it really came out well. I did it full color when normally I sit there and I just go, oh, I'll just do like a, photorealistic black and white or whatever. But I did it in full color. I dropped the actual Ruckus background into it. I put a beer in his hand, like
a Carolina
Hurricanes jersey because he was a big Carolina Hurricanes fan. The sad thing is that it's one of those things that like I would have loved to have given him as a Christmas present. You know what I mean? Like the artwork came out that well. I was really happy and pleased with it. I'm gonna try to pull it up.
Tino Potsy. Robert knows I love it.
No. Well, one of my friends, like I gave Ruckus a couple options of things that I thought would be really cool to do in his honor, and one of them was. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So there he is, right there for everybody. And as you can see, the beer and the shot are with him. Thanks for that. But the options that I also gave, I said, hey, I don't know what you're thinking about spending or anything else, but, he was a big Carolina Hurricanes fan. And you guys, obviously, when the Hurricanes are playing, you cut the music off, you put the sound on for the Hurricanes, all that stuff. What if we framed a jersey with his name on it? And they were like, that's a really cool idea.
So would they get one made with his name on the back?
Yeah. So that's one of the things that they're thinking about doing. The other thing that I was thinking was that just about everybody that works behind that bar is a pop culture nerd. Terrence is, Chris was, Kelly used to be. And they all collected pop vinyls. And you've seen the Potsy, like one that I had, one of one made for me. And I was like, we should get one of Chris.
Yep.
But then I was like, but if we want Chris, we should get one of Kelly, who also has a wedding, and then maybe even start like a row of, it when that kind of thing happens, if, God forbid, but if it happens, do that kind of thing. Because it's not even that expensive. I mean, like mine, I think like shipped everything, even with the extra little Landis that came with it, my old pug was like $55 shipped, and that's in the plastic container that keeps it like perfect forever, and everybody liked the idea. But then I started looking at the customizable ones on their website, and they're not offering any good options right now. Like, I'm like, how do you not have like a jersey that you can change the color of? How do you not have that? Like, how do I not have the ability to put his color hair on there? And then because I started looking at their website, of course, it shows up on all of my social media, and it shows all of these options, and none of them are fucking available right now. So anyway, yeah. Welcome, Chris Barrett. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. We're talking about something pretty somber at the moment. But I gave the option of doing both of those things, and they loved the options. They loved the ideas. And, they were like, hey, if you order it, like, we'll pay for it, blah, 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 whatever. And, I thought that was really classy. Like, because I don't expect them to go to the website and try to figure it all out. But the fact that, like instantly after finishing the artwork, they were like, what do we owe you for the frames? What do we owe you for this? What do, you know, and you know, so I'll probably be paid for the artwork by the end of the week.
For 3 stores.
What's up?
For all the stores.
I mean, I only charged him one fee for the artwork because I mean it's one piece of art, and then I had it printed. You know, I didn't hand draw 4 pieces. Because at this point, I just don't hand draw anything anymore. Honestly, I'm thinking about going back and doing it going forward because, like, when I do covers or whatever, like, it gives me something I can sell.
Yeah.
You know, like right now, I'm literally thinking maybe I start collecting all of my junior high horrors covers that I hand drew and start putting them up for sale. Because I mean, like, I'm not doing anything with them. So, like, enjoy that piece of art, you know, like $150 to get one of the covers. It's not a bad deal. So, Chris Barris had a good Christmas. Got to spend time with his family. That's any gift except the GameCube beyond. Fair enough. Tino, did you get anything good for Christmas?
I got a lot of shit good. I'm trying to. Yeah, I got another cologne. I got a video game, a new controller, money.
I got money.
Yeah. But so Nicole got this book from. She found it. It's Key and Peele. So it's
yes.
It's
okay.
Key. It's this book.
Keegan Michael Key.
Mm-hmm. It's a book about sketch comedy, the history of sketch comedy, blah blah blah. But she found it. You open it up because him and his
autographed
wife,
by him.
Him and his wife.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I got that. So that's probably one of my favorite gifts this year. Probably my favorite gift.
And he's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the show Reboot with him on Hulu?
Mm-mm.
It's him. It's Johnny Knoxville. It's Paul Reiser,
mm-hmm.
and it's all about how a woman producer gets hired to reboot like an old Full House style TV show.
I've seen like the thing on Hulu. I never watched it though.
It's so fucking good.
I gotta check it out, man.
Because turns out they hire another producer to work with her, and it's her dad who was the original producer of the show. So he wants to do it all the old way. She wants to do it this new way. But all of a sudden, she starts hiring all these LGBTQA plus
nice
writers and whatever. And he goes, "Oh, are you doing that? Okay, then." And then all of a sudden, the next day, he hires all of his old Jewish writers. And
I just added it to my Hulu.
And it is unfortunately, it got canceled after one season.
8 episodes. Damn.
But it is amazing.
All right.
Especially because there's on the old show they had a kid, and now he's grown up, but he still acts like an 8-year-old child. So good, dude.
Check it out.
The show's so good. Anyways, Chris Barrett said something else. Let me see if it's something we can read on the air.
Okay, yeah.
I lost my GameCube in one of the hurricanes that hit New England about 10 years ago. So this was exciting. Hey, that's awesome, man.
That is awesome.
That especially since GameCubes aren't necessarily easy to find, but they are almost indestructible.
Oh, apparently that tornado would have taken it away.
Well, whoever got it,
it still works.
Can still use it. But before we go on to pro wrestling, I do want to go ahead and say I appreciate everybody in the audience. I appreciate you more than you know. You know that. We say it all the time.
Love ya.
Love you too.
Love ya.
Love ya. LOOYA. Love ya.
Love ya.
I give him so much shit for not saying the words "love you" every week.
You know what I mean, bitch. Shit.
I know what you mean, but it's not the same. You don't have to say it on the air, because then we know it's fake. Then we know you're acting.
Yes.
But I do know, and we say it. We say it on the regular here. When things become emotional and real, that we literally tell each other and we tell you guys that there's not a time that I get off the phone with him, get off the show with him, he leaves here. There's not a single time. We didn't always do it, but
you started after
my heart surgery.
Yep.
So about 8 years ago now. But there's not a time that goes by that I don't tell this motherfucker right here. and I mean he's got a wife with kids, so I mean he's a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I popped you on that one.
You got me on that one. I give that to you.
I popped me on that one because you popped. I popped.
You got me on that one. All right.
But
it's rare. It's like trying to crack the Undertaker.
It really is, man.
I'm like,
it's like, but there's not a time that we don't see each other or we don't talk to each other that we don't, like, if we text each other, we send a TikTok or whatever, we don't, nothing. But like when we're on the phone, when you leave the house and you tell me that you get home or whatever, we always say it. And if there's one thing that I want everybody to take from this moment of me losing a person that I called a close personal friend, everybody has like that feeling of togetherness for like 2 weeks, typically after that kind of moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, oh, I appreciate you, and I love what you did, and thank you so much for saying what you did, and all those things. But at a point, it stops. But for the last 8 years, you and I have told each other that we love each other.
I've always been,
and it's tough for him. He's an asshole. He doesn't want to tell me that he loves me.
He knows it. But I've always been, but seriously, I've always been, I hug people, and I'm like, all right, let's show people that I love them, because especially now, dude, I've always been like that, but especially since I turned 50, dude, I'm like, your time,
people drop.
You're starting to wind down, so I want to make sure.
And I'm not trying to be rude, but people drop.
Yeah, I try to live life like it's my last day every day anyway.
I don't know where that came from.
I don't either. And
whoever gave the thumbs up, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I don't know where that came from.
And B, like, I guess your what's my mortality starting to set. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to be here forever. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to make sure every day.
I always talk about my library of work, because my library will outlive me.
Mm-hmm. Chris Barry.
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, that was cool. I don't know whoever did that. That was awesome. I just want like this and then the thumbs up. So I don't know if because I did it. Okay.
Apparently not.
It said never again.
I don't know who did it. If you did it and you want to do it again, I would really appreciate it. It's really cool. I'll just give my thumbs up.
Yeah.
But if there's one, I did a TikTok live the other day, and throughout the whole thing, 200 people flew through it, whatever. Probably stayed in and went nope and went to something else. But the whole time I was sitting there talking about this, and I literally was just like, do yourself a favor. Tell anybody you care about that you care about them. If you love them, tell them you love them. But if you care about them, tell them that you care about them. Like, give them their flowers now.
Mm-hmm.
Because that piece of artwork that I did for Chris, like I just said, it's one of those things that I wish I could have been like, hey man, I did this for you.
Yeah.
And I know that his reaction would have been 10 times the reaction that everybody else has given. And everybody else has been super positive about it. But dude wanted to be a comic book character, and I draw in a comic book style, and it looks, I mean, it really looks like him.
Yeah.
I nailed it, and it was really good.
That'd be cool if you put him in a book. One of your, just maybe not a main character, but kind of like
so
you made me a damn souped up plumber. You could probably do something like that for him.
Well, that wasn't even me. That was Michael that did that, and I was like, that looks like Tino. We're making that Tino. But interestingly enough, remember when I started writing my horror story?
Which one? The highway, whatever.
Yeah. The one that has differences. So in one of the stories, all the characters were named people that I knew from Ruckus.
Cool.
And he is one of those characters.
So like you use just the first name? Like
no. I actually named him Chris the Moose Marusa.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and everybody that I used their full names because they were all like, "Yeah, I want to be a part of it." So okay, I'll write you in. Like, and he even, I went out and I found like an actor that I was like, okay, this would be the cool like 19-year-old you kind of thing, right? And I found him, drew him in it for the design or whatever. But so it is possible that he will be a comic book character. There's also a possibility that because Zord deals with grief and it deals with death of a loved one and everything else in that there's a good possibility that we put a little, dedication to, these people. And I'll talk to Michael about that. I haven't actually spoken to Michael about it, but it makes sense that anybody that we've lost in the last year or whatever, if we wanted to put their names in there, I think that makes a lot of sense, and folks, normally, obviously, by now we're talking about pro wrestling, and we haven't really started talking besides the Iron Claw. We really haven't.
I mean, we can't probably. It'll be a short conversation on wrestling this week, but still.
Yeah, and so I noticed you weren't giving me any grief about it, so.
I told you I'll let you do your thing because you knew him. I did,
No, absolutely. But it's again, tell your loved ones that you love them. Tell people that you care about them. Like I don't care how you do it. I don't care if it's something where
tell Dave that you love him.
My brother?
Yeah.
No, that's not happening. I did tell my brother I love him. No, that's twice. I popped you again. No, I did tell my brother I love him. He's actually the one that got me the shot bought by the two cute girls. So he was like, "Here's what's sad." Okay, so the story of my birthday party that all of a sudden, like, okay. The Peddler is a pretty small restaurant, like I said, right? So we were sitting at a table. There were 6 of us, and when we got, they're like, "Hey, for dessert, we normally do like a cheesecake for the birthday person, blah blah blah." And they're like, "But if you want something else, we'll let you get something else." Well, my brother wanted the cheesecake, so it was like, "Okay, get him the cheesecake. I'll get this chocolate ganache like thing that they had that was." Amazing, but way too rich. Anyways, but they're like, well, would you guys like dessert drinks or whatever? So they had a martini list, and one of them was a white chocolate martini that was made with Godiva white chocolate liqueur, Bailey's Irish cream, and Stoli vodka. Sounds great, right? It was amazing.
Okay.
And they put a little chocolate, like rim side, whatever. So I sat there and ordered one, and then my mom's like, "That sounds really good." So my mom gets one, and before you know it, Shane, my brother-in-law, sits there and goes, 4. So one for him, one for his wife, one for my mom, one for me. And my brother was driving, so he wasn't allowed to have one. I wasn't driving, so I was allowed. But anyway, so I finished mine, and I'm like, oh my God, this drink is even better than the chocolate ganache cake thing that they had. So I finish it, and my mom sits there. She's about halfway done hers, and she goes, "These are really good." And we're like, okay. Her and Michelle, my sister, had a bottle of wine between the two of them. Oh by the way, the wine was called Freak Show.
Oh my God.
Now, it is by a a winery that they really like, but the fact that it was called Freak Show, my mom started saying weird and random stuff, and I started going, man, you give her one glass of Freak Show and she just goes off the rails, you know, like whatever. But all of a sudden she's getting done her drink, and she goes,
"What's my name?"
No. She goes, who wants another one?
Oh no.
So Shane and I
to carry mom in the house.
Shane and I make the proper decision of, hey, this is a really small restaurant already. Amazing, by the way. For those that weren't here earlier, the best prime rib I have ever had in my life, and it was $43.
I'll bet it.
No. But $43 for the best prime rib I've ever had in my life.
Okay. That's not bad.
And it was like a pound of meat. Okay?
Okay.
With a salad bar and a potato.
Okay.
So fully worth it. Like, I'll go back as soon as I get my first paycheck. Okay? Anyways, my mom sits there and she goes, who wants another one? So Shane and I sit there and go, hey, they probably want to turn the table over. You know, they don't want us just getting, because the martinis were only $10 a piece.
Oh shit.
So even if we're getting 4 of them, it's only $40 more that she's getting rather than $40,
Yeah.
you know, like whatever. So he goes, you know what, good idea. We should go to the bar. So they pay the tab, they pay the waitress, tip her out, do all that stuff. We go to the bar. My dad's in a wheelchair. We gotta wheel him in, and this bar is like tiny, and they don't let you order food at the bar.
I'm sure.
Well, places like the Angus Barn or whatever, they let you order food at the bar, kind of thing. This place does not let you order food at the bar. So the 6 of us go in, and we go all the way to the back corner, and I chunk myself into the hardest part to get out of, right? So I come in and I get all the way in the corner, and there's no way for me to. So if I have to use the restroom or whatever, like 5 people have to move for me to.
Why?
Because I was just like, all right, well, we're probably not going to be here long.
Okay.
Right. So they order another round of the white chocolate martinis. I don't. I'm like, no, I'm good. Because again, I was kind of thinking maybe I'll go out to Ruckus. Maybe I'll go. And my brother-in-law goes, didn't you say they had a really good bourbon that you wanted?
Oh shit! There it is.
And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, order the bourbon as well. So he orders the bourbon. They bring out a nicely poured shot, probably like what some places would call a double.
Okay.
It was $9 for like a $27 shot of bourbon.
Okay.
And I love my bourbon, folks.
Yes,
I'm still drinking my bourbon. So anyway, these 2 really attractive. The one girl actually looked like Mick Foley's daughter.
Oh, they should look like Mick Foley. I'm like, how drunk were you?
No. Mick Foley's daughter, Noelle.
Okay.
Who is a very attractive lady. Also very funny, whatever. And apparently like isn't she engaged to like a clown? Like an actual clown?
I don't know. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
Someone else will have to look that up. Anyways, the one girl looks like her. She sits there and says that she is hanging out with the waitress that we had earlier. Anyways, they start talking to my brother because my brother's on the furthest out in the group. So they're right next to him.
They've had game.
Apparently, my brother sits there and starts sitting there just talking to them about random stuff. And they hear, oh, well, they're here for my birthday. So, of course, the young ladies sit there and they go, well, what kind of shot does he like? And my brother goes, he likes a duck fart.
Do you like a duck?
Yes. I do like the shot. However, when someone sits there and just randomly asks what kind of shot do I like, it's like anything but tequila. Okay? That's how I answer it, because I don't want to sit there and go, "Oh, I really like a duck fart." But my brother, who has not been drinking, sits there and goes, "He likes a duck fart." And they're like, well, what's in that? And he explains it, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, well, that doesn't sound too bad." So they order 4 duck farts. Bailey's Kahlua Crown Royal, folks. Okay, Bailey's Kahlua Crown Royal. Hot Diggity Daffodil. 9 smackaroonies for a $27. Yeah. Chris Barrett's just talking about the yes, exactly, Chris Barrett. Thank you. So anyway, we do like she brings out the shots. Now there's supposed to be the reason why it's called a duck fart is because the Baileys, the Kahlua, and the Crown Royal are supposed to be layered. So when you see it, it literally looks like when a duck takes a shit.
Okay.
However, it's really good.
Okay.
Like if you like Crown Royal, it's really good. Because the Crown's the first thing that you taste. And you do like Crown, yeah. But it's Crown, then it's the Kahlua, then it's the Baileys. So you get 2 really like, you get chocolate, you get coffee after the Crown. Perfectly good shot. The bartender brings them out knowing that they were supposed to be layered. And she goes, "Hey, I brought out the shots, but I don't know how to layer anything." So it literally just looks like coffee, like whatever. So she brings them out, and they're like, "All right," and they're like, "Happy birthday," and I cheers them up, and I take the entire shot, like, done. And they're like,
I hate when people sip a shot. I'm just called a shot, not a sip. Drink that shit.
And they're like, "Oh wow, you took that like a champ," and I was like, "That's what she said," because I mean, she actually did say it, but they all laughed and whatever, and they're like, but no, you really took that shot. I'm like, it was a shot. That's and I mean, the damn thing came out. It was that tall. It was like, okay, because normally it's like half an ounce, which makes an ounce and a half shot, which is what a shot is supposed to be.
Right.
This was like ounce.
Fuck.
Again, this is why I didn't go out on my birthday afterwards. But I do the whole thing, and they're like, "Wow." And I'm like, "Come on, girls. Like, you're 23, 24 years. Like, come on." And my mom sits there, and she's like, "I'd like to pay for the duck farts." And the bartender's laughing because I'd like to pay for duck farts. And she goes, No, it's his birthday. We comp those. You're good. But I was like,
yeah, I like to pay for the duck farts.
And my mom's sitting there like sipping slowly on her, and it's like, can we get going, please? Like, I'm embarrassed now because even though these attractive young ladies bought me a shot, I'm ready to go because my brother is either trying to A, get me laid, or B, try to get himself laid and make himself look better than me, which is more likely the case. My dad is sitting there in his wheelchair, and he's just sitting there like, "You're hot," like.
Hey.
And my sister and my mom are like, "Can we try that Eagle Rare bourbon that you have?" And everybody tried it, and before I know it, I'm like, "Hey, my 2-ounce shot is now like half an ounce." Okay, thanks. Still $9. Amazing. Anyways, so yeah. That was my birthday.
Wow.
Christmas was great. Spent it with the family. Normally, after I get done spending Christmas with my family, I would go out to a ruckus. That guess who would be working? Chris would normally be the one running the ruckus. Not here this year. I mean, all he had to do was tell us he didn't want to work. No, and I joke like that because he would laugh at that joke. But But yeah, so now we're a couple days after all that and everything, and there was some pro wrestling this week, Tino.
There was.
There wasn't a lot.
No, because they did the best of on Raw. Was it Raw they did the best of this past Monday?
They did, and tomorrow they'll do more of the best of when it comes to SmackDown.
I hate those.
However,
That shit was coming.
sorry, I love Howard Finkel, man.
We did get Tuesday and Wednesday.
We did, but I want to point out, and you said you started watching a little bit of it. CM Punk's first match in a WWE ring happened
non-televised.
Happened on Tuesday. Non-televised, however, and I didn't say it that way this time. It was filmed by enough people,
and I am amazed at who he chose to be his first opponent.
I'm not, because it was the same one that Randy Orton did.
Huh?
Right?
Yeah.
And so those that don't know, and I don't know if he chose them. I don't know if it was like Triple H sitting there saying, "Hey, the safest guy on the roster right now is this guy."
Yeah.
But Randy Orton, his first match back on Monday Night Raw after War Games was Dominic Mysterio. And CM Punk's first match back was Dominic Mysterio. And this is what I'll say about it. You said you don't know why he would have chosen him. Who gets the biggest boo reaction?
Yeah. That's probably a good bet. Smart move.
And when you watch the match, find it on YouTube, folks, before they take it down. But before they take it down, Dom sits there and keeps going like this, and then you hear boo from the entire MSG. And I mean, you're talking 18,000 people in the most famous arena in the world, which, by the way, might be the first time Dominic Mysterio has wrestled there. Maybe not.
That's still cool, though. No, because whether you're getting cheered or booed, you're getting a reaction.
But CM Punk just sat there and put one finger up like this, and they started going, CM Punk. And I mean, the entire place erupted for him. What I thought was even more interesting than the match itself, because the match itself was pretty norm.
Okay.
Like simple, like it was. You know what? I disagree with my own statement there. It was very psychological. It was his psychology versus my psychology in terms of it. Like Dom would sit there and go, and you'd hear boo, and then CM Punk would sit there and go, and they go, yay. And it was Hogan Rock in Toronto, kind of that kind of build and everything else. But what I thought was really interesting was CM Punk's entire ring gear was black.
Yeah.
No Second City Saint stuff, no CM Punk on the trunks. He had his knees wrapped up with tape. Someone
forgot he lost his gear or his luggage at the airport or something. He had to.
I disagree. I think it was an homage to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because remember, the pipe bomb interview, like him sitting on the stage, he was wearing an Austin 316 shirt.
That's true.
Well, I think it was Stone Cold University, but
it's an Austin shirt.
But it was a Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt. So I think him going to the Garden, he didn't care what he was wearing. Because if you remember, even his AEW days, he sat there and he was doing like I'm gonna wear my old Ring of Honor ring gear. I'm gonna bring out my Ring of Honor music. I'm gonna and people ate it up. And by the way, I saw a video today where it was literally the clash between him and Moxley. And Moxley sat there and said, I'm the heart and soul of AEW. And he said, that's fine. You can be the heart and soul. I'm the dollars and the cents. And when you hear that, you think, that guy's an asshole. Fact of the matter is,
Tell him the truth.
He's the one that brings in the money. And what was the last thing he said his first Monday Night Raw back?
I'm not here to make friends. I'm here for the money.
I'm here to make money. And when he says that, the thing that like New Age wrestling fans or AEW wrestling fans hear is he's just doing it for the money. He's there to make the company money. He's there to be part of the machine, but bring in more.
Okay.
And anybody that doesn't realize that's what he meant when he said it. Now, granted, we'll see long term if that's really what he meant. But when he said it, I will say, when he said it, he meant it.
Well, I thought he meant
the other.
Yeah, that was me.
No.
Because I called you. I'm like, did you hear what the fucker just said?
You did. You immediately called me after that. But the fact of the matter is that when he says stuff like that, it's because he knows that the top line and the bottom line still has dollar signs on the front of it. Yeah. And if he doesn't do his job, because let's be real, yeah, they just gave Charlotte Flair top dollar for the women's division, which, by the way, Mercedes Moné apparently is asking for even more. And now there's no longer plans to bring her into AEW.
I bet.
When you hear that it's about the dollar signs, you know that Endeavor and TKO, they shelled it out for him. I don't know what the dollar figure is. I don't. I would probably say if Tony Khan was paying him $3, he's probably making in that area. Randy Orton probably making in that area, right? When they come back and ratings go doop, 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 they get a little extra bonus. It's the way it's always been. When they sit there and say that the PLEs are doing better than they've ever done before, in terms of viewership, in terms of people being in the audience, whatever, that means more money in talent's pockets.
Okay.
So I have a question for you, because obviously, like I said, CM Punk got the win at Madison Square Garden against Dominic Mysterio. Rhea Ripley looked like she just walked out there. She didn't even put her makeup on or anything. She literally was wearing her outfit, and she was like, this makeup hurts my eyes, so I'm just not going to do it tonight. That kind of I'm not lying. That's kind of what it looked like. But when you know that that's the business is at, I mean, it's at an all-time high. We literally went from an all-time low 2 years ago.
Triple H.
100%. At the same time, talent is
again. I think that's because of Triple H, though. Vince had his people. Vince had the people he would push. Triple H, while he has his people, he's willing to push others as well, where Vince wasn't.
Well, you obviously see that he's willing to push people that he doesn't necessarily like, because he literally brought in CM Punk.
But see, because he's smart, he knows it's going to make him money. And I don't know if Vince didn't care or Vince just was stuck in his ways.
I think Vince was just old. I think Vince. I don't want to say that I feel like he had a stroke.
Oh shit!
But and sorry for saying that, because my dad obviously is still alive after a stroke 30 years ago that really wrecked him. But Vince was a genius. And the people that still sit there and even say things like, Brock beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania was the right decision. There is some genius thought that went into that. But then there's a lot of stuff in the last 7 or 8 years that makes everybody sit there and go, what the fuck was he thinking? And it makes me wonder whether or not, like, he started thinking about his own successes, because wrestling's cyclical. So if wrestling's cyclical and this was a successful story back then, I should be able to revive that and do it again. And it's not that simple.
They do sometimes recycle shit.
100%. And when they do, with guys like Hunter and Sean in charge of those, that it normally works.
Yeah.
But Vince would redo Katie Vick. Which, when we all go back and look at the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era, we go, what?
Yeah.
Mae Young giving birth to a hand.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon would have done that again.
That was Vince amusing Vince. That was for his. I don't think he really cared if anybody else liked it. That was something that he thought was funny.
Why?
With the Natalia farting thing he had going on. You know what I mean? That was Vince entertaining.
Probably the greatest women's wrestler of all time. And yet, never going to get her flowers, even under Triple H.
I think the best she's going to do is women's tag team champion.
No, she'll get Hall of Fame. But you know what? The problem there is that she should retire now and just accept that she's going to get the Hall of Fame, because they're never going to utilize her correctly. She would be, I'll tell you this, she would be probably the greatest women's agent backstage.
Oh, yeah.
Making their matches happen.
Yes.
Since Fit Finlay.
Yes.
And make more money doing it than what she's doing by going out there and still looking like $1 million and getting treated like a $3 steak.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Quoting, JR there. That's a pretty cool parrot on the TV. It's blue and gold like Notre Dame. So that was WWE really just had a best of show. They're gonna have another best of show on SmackDown. Tino said he didn't like them. I did think that some of the commentary that we got outside the lines, actually having Seth Rollins talk about CM Punk, actually having Becky Lynch on there, having different wrestlers actually speak a little bit. Jey Uso yeeting for the audience.
I did like when they had Cody Rhodes in there. Cody's like, probably my best.
Because they asked him. They said, what were your favorite moments of the year?
That after they won the tag team, because normally I try to be polished and prepared, and he goes in. We just weren't. That was him.
we just weren't.
That was him wink admitting, yeah, we were fucked up.
But you know what?
That was cool. Because he's not like that all the time. So that was good to see.
None of them are like that.
And it's cool that Triple H let that go.
Well, it was, but even, like after Montreal, when they had Sammy do his interview, and they were like, well, how do you feel? And he's like, well, how's someone supposed to feel after they lost a match? But at the same time, that crowd lifted me up. They made me feel amazing. Like this is an amazing moment for me. But how can I not feel down knowing that? And of course, like he even said in an interview after that he went backstage right after that, and Triple H was like, how could you say stuff like that? And he's like, you told me to go out there and speak from my heart.
Yep.
And that's what I did. Like I didn't mince words. I told them exactly how I felt. And that's what those things get. And by the way, it's exactly what you get from the AEW ones too. Unfortunately, those aren't as polished in some cases. Which
Jeff just comes out cursing and which is funny at times. But
you know what though? That signifies the difference between the two programs. And since you brought that up,
Okay.
let's roll on. Boom goes the Dynamite. No.
That's one of those. I'm like,
No. Okay. Dynamite this week. Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch Rampage. I didn't watch Collision because it was Christmas weekend. It was my birthday. It was the day after.
You watch NXT? We skipped that. But that's okay.
Was NXT new?
Yes.
I did watch some of it.
I'm trying to figure out what are they doing. All of a sudden, Ava Rain's just making matches and she's going in and out of. So is she like, what the fuck? Is she like just a general manager now?
All right. Well, we're talking about NXT. I don't think Shawn Michaels likes being on TV. I mean, his eyes literally are concaving into the back of his head.
TV.
What's
put
it?
Mr. Ed on TV, and then I make them magic.
I think they're trying to appease somebody specific, and it's not her.
Well, yeah, appease the Rock. Why though? I mean, he's not anything with them anymore.
He shows up, 70 million people watch. Yeah. But
so they broke up Brooks and Jensen. There's a couple things
we knew that was coming.
Yeah, but they kind of, I liked the way they did it. It was kind of, all right. And they left it to where they could come back together, which they probably will. And, if something happens, he's getting jumped, Jensen will come in or something. Later on down the road. I
always prefer the let's go our separate ways and let's just like rah from afar.
And if you get in trouble, I'm here.
Exactly.
And I think that's what they're going to do with them.
Because too often you get
the breakup,
the breakup, and you want the Shawn Michaels and the Marty Jannetty, and how often do we sit there and say, well, they're both the Jannetty? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like neither one of these guys are going to be the best they can, but we already saw when you put them in the Iron Survivor match or whatever.
Big dude's going to be something. The other dude with the mullet, no. Let's see. So Ava Rain, they did the dragging off
injury angle.
Yeah. They did the match with Nathan Frazier and Braun Breaker. Breaker killed him.
However,
they what?
Nathan Frazier has been announced as the WWE component going to All Japan Pro Wrestling to compete for one of their titles.
Cool.
So once again, WWE not fully opening that forbidden door, but opening it just enough for somebody to sit there and make a name for themselves. Last year it was Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah.
When he went and he faced Great Muta.
Yeah.
And after that, when Triple H got the full book, Shinsuke Nakamura has never been better in WWE on the main roster. Was he better in NXT? 100%.
He keeps losing when he gets to the big one, though.
But I think he'll get a win against Cody.
For a title?
No.
That's what I'm saying. He keeps losing the big one every time he gets a title shot.
However, you can't disagree that since Triple H has fully taken the book, that the Japanese component of WWE wrestling has really stepped up.
Oh, hell yeah.
And been booked correctly. I mean, think about it. Io Sky has been the women's champion since when?
No.
Not long after WrestleMania.
She cashed in.
Yeah, so Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So she cashed in pretty shortly after that. You had Kairi Sane come back.
Kabuki Warriors.
You have Asuka being in the main event on SmackDown every other week.
You even got Tozawa. That's nasty. Ooh, that's nasty.
And Asuka and Shinsuke. I mean, like literally, their major Japanese component right now is at the top of the card on both shows.
I like it.
And at this point, besides Bailey, who's kind of on the outs of Damage Control, and Dakota Kai, Dakota Kai, sorry, Dakota Sky was a porn star. Dakota Kai, who apparently committed suicide. Anyways, Dakota Kai being part of the group, I think is going to be their mouthpiece.
Yeah.
But the other three are major Japanese women pro wrestlers, and there's rumor that they want Julia from New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom, who, if you go on YouTube and you watch her stuff,
Julia, I hadn't heard of her. We'll watch it later. Okay.
Yeah. So.
And then, okay.
No.
I was going to say finish NXT, then you had the underground thing they did.
With Dijak?
That was good.
It was amazing.
That was good.
I'm going to tell you, since they moved underground to NXT, like, how does Vince McMahon come up with this idea? Put it on Monday Night Raw, fuck it up unbelievably badly.
You've done 2 matches and your boy won both of them.
And when they move it to NXT and they put it under Shawn Michaels and they put the right competitors in there,
it is fucking amazing. I love that match. I love that match.
It's as close. I'm not going to say it's as close to the UFC as they get, but it's so different and so dirty for a WWE thing. Like, the only thing they could make the underground even better is if they moved it outside of the parking lot.
Oh. Then that caused a little more injury, I think. Yeah.
But am I right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing. Like, I'm waiting for them to bring back the fight pit.
Oh yeah.
You know, because even those matches, like, and by the way, where the fuck is the guy missing tooth?
Thatcher.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, he did like 2 matches in AEW and then he was gone.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's time to bring back Thatcher. Timothy Thatcher.
They'll probably bring him back to the 1/4 inch, whatever. What's his name? The little thing he's got now. The little faction he's got in NXT.
Stokely? Oh, no.
No, NXT with what's his name?
I don't know.
It has Regal's son in it. Regal.
Oh, Thatcher. Dempsey.
Yeah, Dempsey, and then but the
No Amdar and all that.
No. Anyway, I'll remember his name in a minute.
All right, so let's move on to AEW.
Drew Gulak.
Okay, yeah. Who, by the way, is probably their best teacher in NXT. Yes. Besides Matt Bloom himself, who obviously has been in charge of it for as long as he has. AEW.
The only.
No, there's quite a bit that happened this week.
There is, but the big thing I want to think. I told you. And I'll tell you when we get.
Go ahead and tell me. Say right now.
It's at the end.
No, just say it.
Remember I said I think that Joe's the fucking devil?
But he's not.
He's not. He's working on him. But I'm like, close enough.
So 2 questions there. First, so he's not the devil, ? Right?
I said, pleasure doing business with you.
Second question, does that mean he knows who the devil is? Mm-hmm. Well, we think that. But what if he's literally talking to somebody wearing a mask? So, okay, real second question
and
there.
I was trying to look at the build, the guy's build of all the masked men, trying to figure out who the fuck is that?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter because, I mean, they literally could have the Blackpool Combat Club go out there every week and do that. Yeah. Now, there was a specific move that he did.
That hot, whatever that thing, the pile driver off the ropes.
Yeah.
Who does that move?
MJF does that move.
That's what does that move.
MJF does that move. And MJF had it done to him. The Heat Seeker. Yeah. And I was like, because I thought the same thing. I was like, who the fuck? Oh, that's a tell. And then I was like, oh no, MJF does that. But okay, so obviously we're starting at the end.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I like this because there's not a lot to talk about from from this. Joe obviously was working alongside with the Devil so that he could get MJF in a compromised position for Saturday night. Great. Like I said, does Joe know does he know who the Devil is? Because I don't think it necessarily means he does.
But what I'm also pissed me off, you got new ROH tag team champions. They didn't fucking demask. They just ran away. Who the fuck's are who's the champions? Who the fuck are the champions?
No. So okay, you want me to go on a rant?
Oh shit!
Because you started this. I'm about to.
You think it's the Young Bucks, don't you?
No.
The Young Bucks.
I bet you think it's the Young Bucks. No,
we can't get AEW championships. We're gonna do this one.
So the Facebook group, by the way, actually posted a picture from like a WWE 2K23 where they created two randos, and it says, "Here's your new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions." No, here's the problem and what I see with this.
I get they're trying to push the storyline of Joe against MJF. And MJF's hurt.
They had to get the belts off of him because Adam Cole's not ready to come back.
But who the fuck are the champions?
So, did you hear Justin Roberts? Your winners of the match and new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. That was it. So here's the problem. Okay, here's the problem with all of this. What have I been saying about the Ring of Honor titles for a long time?
Yeah.
They're worthless. They're not worth the metal that they're made out of at this point. Chris Barrett, you can sit there and say what you want on it, and I haven't even looked to see if he said anything. But the fact is, well, Kenny Omega's hurt. So I don't even think that Saturday night we find out who the Devil is. Because I think they want it to be Adam Cole.
Can we figure out who the damn tag team champions are now? I want to know.
It's two guys literally in full black outfits with a devil mask on the back of it. Like so again, here's the rant. You ready for it? Tony Khan doesn't know what the fuck he's doing with this shit. He literally took so when Ring of Honor was bought by them, there were two people that could have bought it. It was them or Vince. And you can't tell me right now that Vince wouldn't have done better with that video library and what the company has become. Because hold on. Let me. Okay. You said you're gonna let me rant.
All right.
One, the Ring of Honor World Championship right now is vacant because Eddie Kingston put it up on the line during this blue and gold competition.
I'll get someone to get it on Saturday.
It's not the Ring of Honor World Championship anymore. Now it's the Triple Crown Cup. So there's one, right? Who's the women's world championship in Ring of Honor? Is it Willow Nightingale?
No,
is it Naomi? No, it's
Athena.
Where the fuck's she been?
Yeah, sure too.
Okay. Ring of Honor has a trios championship. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, dude, they're part of Mogul Embassy. That's Brian Cage and.
Okay. So
and there's other two Samoan. I can't remember the name of the.
But
yeah.
Where the fuck have the three of them been? Because Swerve has been killing it, and they're nowhere.
And then the TV champion is the dude in the Callis family, the one that was with
Aussie
Open. Yeah, he's a TV champ.
Oh, so they actually did something with the TV championship.
Remember.
I know Joe put it down.
In the last pay-per-view, they had a.
I didn't know there was a pay-per-view.
It was a Ring of Honor pay-per-view. They had one of those blah blah blah.
I know,
but the Aussie Open dude won it.
Yes, it was Ring of Honor Final Battle or whatever. Okay, great, but there's no men's world champion. Most people don't know who the women's world champion is.
I do.
The tag team championships literally are two guys wearing black complete outfits. Yeah. The pure champion is Wheeler Yuta.
Yes. And he's got his little thing with Hook.
I mean, he does, except for the fact that like Eddie Kingston just trounced him in that interview, like the face off between him and Moxley for the Continental Classic Championship thing, like where he sat there and he said, you can't young boy me like you do your fucking boy Wheeler Yuta. And he kept saying, bro, I literally thought it was Vince Russo writing that interview, by the way. But above all, I don't care at all about any of those championships. And the last one that I cared about was MJF and Adam Cole being the tag team champions. And they literally put them on two guys wearing black masks so you can't see their faces. And if it doesn't end up being Bully Ray and fucking Devon Dudley, no, it won't. But if it doesn't turn out being the Aces and Eights so that they can finish that TNA story that never got finished with Hulk Hogan.
I'm really beginning to think that Adam Cole is the devil and those three guys. Who's the one been preaching the most about MJF is the devil?
Yeah, it's
Adam! Fucking hate that. Renee!
I loved it for 2 weeks. And we talked about this the last time we did a show. I loved it for 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden I was like,
shut up.
That's fucking annoying. Mm-hmm. And now he's growing a mustache. He's like, Roddy, you're better than this. You're better than wearing a shirt that says Adam. Like that literally is your shirt.
When Adam comes back, that's when all this is gonna unroll. Now, but then on the other side of that, you got my girl Toni Storm doing her interview with Renee Paquette, and she goes, "Remember, head up, tits out, and watch." And Renee's like, "Whoa!" She goes, "Good reflexes," and she walks away. Oh, she goes, "You're learning," and she walks away.
So there was that. There was also the Mariah May and Riho interaction.
Which Toni Storm. Okay, so she's supposed to be face.
Is she? Toni Storm's not.
Well, they're cheering the shit out of her.
She's not babyface.
She ran out to try to jump. No, so Mariah May was fucking with Rio. Toni Storm tried to come out and got fucked up. And she's walking around. How dare you? I'm like, okay, you're. It's entertaining, but sometimes it gets, it's a little over the top.
I'm okay with that because, interestingly enough, the reason why I'm okay with this rather than the over-the-topness of like Roddy Strong is when you think about the old 30s movies, they would exaggerate.
Yes. Yeah. And she got that bright-ass red lipstick, this big-ass lips, and the black and white. I love the black and white. But like... She's
when she runs down and she's in black and white, then all of a sudden she gets in the ring and it's in color, and it's like, what the fuck? Is this Wizard of Oz? What the fuck just happened?
So Rio's in the ring is color. They flash black and white. The color, black and white.
Well, they don't do it that well though. Yeah. Like when she ran down, it was in black and white. It's like, okay. And then she gets in the ring and it's in color, and it's like, But again, the over exaggeration of the character and everything else.
Yeah.
I'm completely fine with because it fits what they're trying to do with that character. With Roderick Strong, it's too much and it's annoying at this point. And he could just be like,
and where the fuck is Britt?
Home with Adam Cole.
Is she hurt?
Well, hold on, because you just brought up relationships. And I think that brings us to the gift presentation for Boxing Day of the Don Callis family when he's giving everybody their gifts, and I suddenly get a text message, not from you,
not from me,
but it said, Sammy Guevara is doing more turns than the Big Show.
He is. He is.
But let's dissect it a little bit. Callis comes out with the Callis family, gives Will Hobbs his flowers, gives him the poster, which I think was all AI designed, by the way. Then gives Takeshita his Takeshita, sorry.
Shit stain Nakamura. That's what Nicole calls him.
Shit stain Nakamura, yep. And then
Takeshita.
Well, wouldn't it be great if they were both working together? It'd be like Takeshita and
Shit stain.
And Shit stain. And then of course he gives the Aussie Open guy his whatever his name is. I don't even know.
Kyle something.
Okay, yeah, Kyle Sullivan or something like that. And then you hear Sammy Guevara, and he comes walking down. And he's like, bitch, pretty much, right? Like Sammy Guevara literally sounded like his wife. They break out the piece of artwork, and he goes, "Who told you that you could sit there and put my kid in the?" And I don't know if that's his kid. It just looks like a kid. Like I don't know who it is. Like that's if I was Don Callis, I'd be like, Sammy, you haven't even let me see the kid. I just put a kid in there. I don't think it's your kid. It could be any kid, and that could have gotten the story going where they wanted to. But obviously, they wanted because
Omega's out.
They don't know how long Omega's going to be out. Let's go ahead and take somebody that we know can work with Chris Jericho, and we know we'll get a pop. And remember, he's a pillar, right? So he's one of the 4 people that they think that if we build a company, he's one of the people we build the company around. They have him sit there, take down Don Callis, who is the second biggest heel in AEW. The entire family attacks him.
You knew it was going to happen.
Yeah. And you get Chris Jericho's music to hit. Jericho runs down wearing his purple with Floyd, the bat.
He breaks all the pictures except for the last one. He tosses Sammy the bat.
And Sammy looks, and you know what? If I were booking that moment, I would have had Jericho break the pictures except for the one with Sammy. And I would have had Sammy actually think about it and Jericho turn his back and have Sammy sit there and be like, and then hit the poster, because that would have made the crowd sit there and go, is Sammy part of it? Or is Sammy against it? Yeah. And it just would have added another moment of like,
I like the way they did it. And then they were like, hug it out.
Well, except they didn't. And what's up with Jericho having like the Arn Anderson hand? I don't know. Like you saw that, right? Like he's like, meh.
Maybe that's a wrestler secret.
Meh. And Sammy's like, and Jericho's like, meh.
And then they hug. And then they get jumped.
Not by the Callis family.
No, the tag team champs. Then the lights go out. This is where
they get jumped by Bog Bill. I don't know if you saw his shirt, Bog Bill. Yeah. Doesn't say big. It's got a boot.
Oh, that's supposed to be that.
Looks like an O.
But and Fake Rock. But
then the lights go out.
I don't understand. How the fuck are they gonna have a faction now? What the fuck is Sting and Darby getting involved in this?
Because if I had to guess, Jericho's going to offer his tag team championship match to Sting.
I thought he was going to him and Sammy were going to go for it.
I think that Jericho will sit there and hand it off.
So to be his partner, he'll give it to Sting and Darby.
And that'll be what we go to see in March.
So Sting's last match, he goes out as champ.
And then retires. And
got to put the belts up and then got to start this shit all over.
Well, and then you get with Sex Gods to actually win the championship.
Or Kenny might do that by then.
Maybe. But, I mean, like, this at least gives them something to go with for the next 2 months. Because, let's be real, Wasn't Darby supposed to be climbing Mount Everest?
I don't know.
Like, that was literally what they said he was going to do.
I don't know.
And I think I think Tony Khan said, "Hey, Kenny's out. Can you come back?" And Sammy Guevara probably went, "Hey, I can come back." And they brought him back. Well, now you got 4 against 4, right? So you have that. It's not a bad build. Obviously, you can. What's nice is on the burner, even though Kenny can't be there, you were still able to have believable adversaries here. The idea of the Darby and Sting thing really doesn't help it, and maybe they'll sit there and try to add like a storyline element of like Darby was somebody that Don Callis was trying to recruit a long time ago or something, or maybe Sting, thought about going to ECW and didn't because of Cyrus or what, like something like try to figure something out. But I think it was really just, hey, how do we get as many popular guys on this wrestling card on Saturday as possible, and not give Sting a loss.
Another big thing I want to talk about is the Christian Cage, Adam Copeland. Now, first of all, where the fuck is Luchasaurus?
You mean Killswitch?
Whatever the fuck his name is. He hadn't been around.
You mean Unprettier? What's his name now?
Anyway. He wasn't there. And I was kind of...
he's going to turn on Christian Cage.
I was kind of hoping that when Adam Copeland came, and then so now he's got the mother, whatever her name is, Mother Wayne, bring fucking Beth to neutralize that bitch.
She might still be under contract to WWE.
Yeah. We
don't know that, right? And I would think that because she had a commentary contract and everything else, she probably is still under contract. The fact that they were able to use her voice as you think you know him.
I don't think. I mean,
just the fact that they did that, like obviously that's a Easter egg, if you will. I'm okay with them not bringing her in because,
well, not full time, just something.
But I don't think Nick Wayne's mom knows how to wrestle.
Not wrestle, just to keep her. Keep her at bay because she fucking, hit him at the fucking belt to help him, win. You just, what I'm saying? Maybe a one-off, like, oh, you hit my fucking man with a belt. I'm here to make sure that shit don't happen again.
I mean, maybe she'll be in the audience at the show.
I'm not saying sign her full time, kind of.
No, I'm with you, and by the way, I think that she'd actually be a hell of an asset to the women's division in AEW, used sparingly and correctly.
Or just a backstage coach.
The problem that I have with a lot of the stuff in AEW, and you and I talk about this quite often, is the fact that right now their booking has been subject at best. And there's like we were just talking about Sammy Guevara coming back after being off for 5 months, having a concussion, having a kid, all this other stuff. And yet, the first thing that you just said was, why Sting and Darby Allin in that? Well, that's because Tony Khan is literally sitting there going, how do we get as many big names on this card as possible? It has nothing to do with, hey, this makes good storyline sense. It's literally how do we get buy rates, right? The match will be great. Don't get me wrong. And folks, let me go ahead and say, match quality in AEW has been top notch. Sometimes the stories make no fucking sense at all. For example, Swerve Strickland losing to Jon Moxley in the first match of the night and Jay White losing that match. Swerve Strickland later sits there and accepts a challenge from who?
Keith Lee. But I thought that was going to be, I knew they weren't going to give it to Jay White. I thought that was Swerve Strickland's match to win. Because I thought they were...
Well, you thought it was his to lose.
No, I thought it was his to push him forward.
You thought he was going to be the guy to take it. Absolutely. And by the way, He should have been.
Yes.
Like, all the talk that he is the most improved male wrestler in AEW for the last 12 months is 100% accurate.
And again, he's a heel that fans fucking get out their seats when that music hits.
But you even saw that last night. It looks like he's getting ready to break off from the thing that makes people love him. Nana.
How do you think?
Swerve when I drive, I swerve when I drive, I swerve.
Okay, why do you think he's going to break off from him?
Didn't you see the interview with him last night?
Yeah, he said swerve.
He was like, and he just walked away.
No, but I thought Nana was like, I didn't approve this, and he's like, I thought Swerve was like, don't worry about it. I want a piece of Keith Lee. That's the way I looked at it.
But I didn't approve this, and he's like, yeah, you don't need to approve my shit.
I don't think he said that.
He didn't say it, but I felt that, and I could be wrong.
No, I think he was just like, no. I think he was like, all right, you've been talking this shit. You want a piece of me? Okay, that's how I took it. Like, okay, I got this.
However, again, when we look at Keith Lee here, the fuck have they done with him for the last 8 months?
They're probably starting to build him back up.
Oh, so now he's healthy enough to sit there and actually like be something, because putting him against Swerve Strickland for Swerve is a step back. And you can't tell me I'm wrong, because that guy literally just had an amazing match against Jon Moxley. He had an amazing match against Jay White. He had an amazing match against both of them. He had an amazing match against Hangman, and now he's taking a step back and going.
A step back. I think that's he's ramping up. He's ramping up. He's building up wins. He's building up momentum. I don't think it's a step back.
Keith Lee is not on his level right now. By the way, Keith Lee is an amazing talent who should be at the top of the card.
We can agree to disagree on that one.
Well, you don't think he should be at the top of the card?
I think he should be at the top of the card. I don't think it's a step back. That's what I'm saying. I think we can agree to disagree.
Well, we are going to agree to disagree, because the fact is that Keith Lee has been nothing since he got to AEW, which is weird, because in NXT he was everything. We know that he fell out of favor with Vince McMahon very quickly on the main roster. But when he went to AEW, he had medical issues. Don't get me wrong. I get that. I understand that. When he came back, he literally was in a tag team with Dustin Rhodes, who hasn't been anything in 15 years. Like, yes, they won the tag team championships with him and Swerve, while Swerve was a babyface. When Swerve went heel, we know which one was the Shawn Michaels and which one was the Jannetty.
What's the time on that song?
About time to.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out what damn. I don't know.
I'm trying to think if there's. I think there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about.
AEW.
Yes.
Sky Blue. There's Chris Statlander.
So Sky Blue, Chris Statlander was actually a much better match than I thought it was going to be. But I 100% agree with Taz that we need more Stokely. Because him on commentary, when he sat there and he was going to give a European uppercut to Tony Schiavone. And he sat there and he's like, come on, Taz. Who gave you a $5 Starbucks gift card for Christmas?
Oh, Jesus.
And Taz was like, well, and a bottle of tequila. And then they showed Stokely and he's like, like, dude, Stokely needs to be on commentary like regularly, because that shit was awesome. But what happened in that match? Sky Blue ended up winning over Chris Statlander. By the way, only her second loss this year in 12 months. And you know who her other loss was to?
Jade.
No. Julia Hart.
That's right.
So the two people that have beaten her were in the ring.
That's right. I forgot about that. and now she's got to face Abaddon.
Okay. Last thing I'll talk about because I'm mad about it.
Oh shit!
Who made a comeback on Collision?
Thunder Rosa.
Okay. Thunder Rosa, women's world champion.
Never lost it.
Never lost it. Makes a comeback. And what do?
Put her tag team with Abaddon.
Against?
Julia Hart and Sky Blue.
However, who is the women's world champion?
Toni Storm.
Who, by the way, was the women's world champion interim when Thunder Rosa disappeared because of injury.
Forgot about that.
Why in the fuck is she not being thrown directly into a program with the woman who has the belt after she couldn't defend it?
And who said that they won't?
Because they didn't.
Well, I mean, today she came back today, she was already in the program.
Should have been immediate.
Nah, you can't. Do you know what that? Do you know what that sounds like? Then you bitching about WWE people immediately getting.
I know.
World title picture.
I know. However, again, sorry for saying however as many times as I have. I realize that, like I want to say it like Howard Finkel, by the way, when I do it, but I didn't because you hate that. But realistically, what's the first program that Thunder Rosa should have? I never lost my belt. I should come in and I should have the opportunity to win, especially because she literally came back a week before the last pay-per-view of the year. She can lose and then start this other program.
I think it was a one-off, that Abaddon thing. I think it was a one-off. But what I'm saying, I think, I don't know if she's got her, what do they call it, ring rust off. I think they might be trying to get her back. And she came back. Toni Storm's on. I think when Toni Storm beats Rio, I wouldn't be surprised if Thunder Rosa does end up in the title picture.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I still think that when she got in the ring for the first time and actually wanted to get physical, it should have been with the person who is a 3-time women's champion in AEW.
But I think they're trying to separate the
divisions,
the Collision, and because she's on Collision, she hadn't been back on Dynamite, and Toni Storm really doesn't roll over to Collision. You know what I'm saying? So I think they should. They're gonna have to figure that out because remember when they broke up. Remember you're gonna have your top stars. They're gonna try to make them different. Thunder Rosa was going to be Collision. CM Punk was going to be Collision, and he left. And then they
Brian Danielson went over there, but Brian Danielson's been on Dynamite
and now they've got Adam Copeland. I think they're throwing noodles on the wall trying to see what sticks. I think you know what I mean. But I think right now
it's a good way of saying that.
I think right now she's Collision.
Unfortunately, it means that she can't win what she never lost, and there are certain things that allow you to go against what the rules should be of building your way back up and everything else. Like, I'm not saying that Goldberg coming in after 15 years should be able to go after the world championship. I'm literally saying that a woman that never lost the world championship is all of a sudden just randomly thrown in with Abaddon, who wasn't even on TV up until like 3 weeks ago. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference.
Okay.
If she wanted to go after the TNT Women's Championship and go specifically right after Julia Hart, okay. But she never lost the main Women's Championship, and that's where I have a problem with it.
I agree with you there. But but I don't agree that she's. I think they will. I think it's timing, and I think because they want her on Collision, they need to move her ass over to Dynamite to make that happen.
It's an interesting statement, and it makes me question it. Because there are people that wrestle on both, and I mean, Adam Copeland has been on both programs like almost
Tony
every
Storm
week.
doesn't really go there. She'll make an appearance.
You're right, but again, if you're gonna bring Thunder Rosa back and have her,
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
and specifically, I think that they did it at the lowest rating time of the year, and I think that hurts her return.
Yeah.
When if they did it, even if they did it the very first show of January, because WWE and TNA and all them used to like January 4th, boom, it's going to be like a massive show, and WWE's doing day one,
and they're doing day,
and I like the fact that they're branding it that way, but I mean, obviously it's Raw, but again, like they know that it's the holidays are over, let's try to get the ratings. Right,
we're on the road to WrestleMania now too,
and absolutely. But with AEW, they literally went, here we have a women's champion who is a beloved women's champion, and we're just gonna have her come back on a random episode of Collision and against helping a person that nobody cares about. And against, now granted, Sky Blue and Julia Hart are probably two of the biggest increased and favored names now in the women's division, but it's literally the same woman that held the belt after her and her are available, and they're not touching it. And I don't like that. And I think that you easily could have remedied it. Because you could have had Thunder Rosa just be on commentary on Dynamite.
That's true.
So
Julia Hart beats Abaddon. I'm trying to think of the name. I think Tony Storm goes over Rhea. I'm just naming the main ones. I think Joe does it. I think Samoa beats him.
So we probably should really quickly go through the card.
We can't do quickly because you're long-winded, and I'm ready to get.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to be long-winded. I will try to give answers as fast as possible. But
what is it called? Days End or something. End of days. Something.
Year's End. Just look up AEW pay-per-view. It should pull it right up, right?
AEW PPV.
Yeah. Because I want to get off here now too. The World's End. Start wherever you want on the card.
Shit.
Because I know you just said I think Joe does it. So so I was getting ready to just jump right into that one.
Card. Give me the card. Give me the card. Match card. Here we go.
There we go. All right.
Bitch.
Keith Lee versus Swerve Strickland.
Blue League winner versus Gold League winner.
Well, that's going to be the second to last match.
I'm just reading it as they go.
John Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. Agree.
Eddie Kingston. Hook versus Willa Yuta for the FTW Championship. Hook. Julia Hart versus Abaddon.
Julia Hart.
Tony Storm versus Rio.
Tony Storm.
Oh, so Big Bill and Ricky Starks versus Jericho and to be announced.
No. That's been changed to Big Bill, Ricky Starks, Will Hobbs, Takeshita.
When did they change it? I didn't see that.
They showed it last night. Versus Sting, Darby, Jericho, and Guevara.
All right. Sting
and Guevara.
Yeah, Christian Cage, Adam Copeland, TNT Championship. I think because he got cheated last time, I think Copeland's taking it, which, okay. You know what I mean? It's like, okay.
No. I told you I wasn't going to be long-winded, but this is a match that it pisses me off.
All right. And then.
Can I say why?
If you can be quick, dude.
All right. So, here's the deal. The match is a no disqualification match in a company that doesn't care about disqualifications.
Okay. And then MGF and Samoa Joe, and I say Joe, but you want to go in, you want to say something. So what you got?
No, I like the idea of Joe.
Oh.
At the same time, I think that they're going to play up the idea that MJF becomes a free agent on it because he needs surgery.
Did he? I was about to say.
So I think he's still under contract. Like, I think when he came back a year ago, he signed a contract. And that's why they gave him the belt. That's why he's been running with the belt for as long as he has. I think that they're going to play up the where will MJF sign thing. Or I could see MJF sitting there cutting a heel promo saying that he is the devil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cutting the promo and saying when he wins, he's going to run off with the belt and disappear. And I could still see him leaving and getting surgery, which means he's out and there's no world champion for a while. Because they'll have that Triple Crown winner who can then defend that title. They'll have the international champion that can defend that title. They'll have the TNT champion that can defend that title. So they've got 98 belts in AEW right now, which, by the way, was the problem that everybody had with WWE not too long ago, was having too many belts.
I'm looking at this on Enzo Amore. Response to speculation about being at World's End. And I was reading this, and something did, and you and I picked up on it too. Remember a couple of weeks ago when Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho
mentioned Enzo, and he got the biggest pop.
I think they said Enzo. They didn't say Enzo. They just said you're soft.
No. Jericho actually said something about Enzo Amore. He literally called him Enzo. I don't know if he said Amore, but he said Enzo.
So do you think Enzo shows up in AEW?
I mean, he could. Scotty Too Hottie showed up last night.
No. It's going to be all elite. I'm not talking about a one-off. I'm thinking, do you think they sign Enzo Amore?
Well, I don't know. Scotty Too Hottie's not all elite now.
What was Scotty Too Hottie on?
He literally was on there last night on a dark match.
Oh, I don't remember that. I haven't seen dark match.
He worked with the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn versus somebody.
Anyway, all right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't care about Enzo. I told you a long time ago that Enzo and Cass would never be tag team champions in WWE, and I was right. And
that's because Enzo
well, they both got fired. But I wasn't wrong.
Technically, if they hadn't gotten fired, I think they would have.
But they never were. Anyways, so to me that doesn't matter. The devil storyline, I wonder whether or not we'll get any resolution on it at World's End. If we don't, it's because it's supposed to be Adam Cole and he's just still injured.
Before we go, you gotta explain why we might not be on.
Oh yes. So folks, I'm supposed to start a new job, which isn't necessarily a day job. It could be a job that goes to 1 o'clock in the morning. We're going to try to let everybody know via our Facebook page when we will be available to do shows. It could be Tuesday, could be Wednesday, could be Thursday going forward. Probably not Tuesday because I'll be doing a trivia at Ruckus. But we do want to continue the Potsy and Tino show. Just because I've been out of work as long as I have, I kind of have to do what the company wants. So while I do plan on starting a new job, it's going to be something where, I mean, heck, worst case scenario, him and I record a show and we post it on Thursdays. Could always do something like that. Just means that we won't do the live interaction with everybody else. Thanks, Chris Barrett. I appreciate that. But we want to do everything we can to continue the show, but I do have to do what's best for my livelihood, keeping the house and everything else. So that's the plan there. But we will try to keep you as best informed as possible and let everybody know when the show will be back and be on the air. So hopefully next Thursday you'll see me, see us. But Who knows at this moment?
Just watch the page.
Yeah, if you follow my Twitter, if you follow us on Facebook, I will do a much better job of updating the Facebook page with when we are doing the show. Says, "Get lost, you bum." I have no idea because I'm not going to read the name out loud.
Oh,
so
you learned. Very good.
Oh, I did my TikTok the other day, and somebody was like, people just keep saying nasty stuff about my name, and I don't know why. And the name was like, I'll tell you off air.
Yeah, don't.
With that said, Tino, why don't you tell everybody?
Tell me that name off air too, because I can't see it. But
well, you can lean in if you want to look.
I don't know what the fuck it says.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay. That's what I think it says.
You can catch him on.
Threw me off for
you
a
can
second.
catch him on Twitter at HoodieFan91. You can catch him on Instagram at SC Tino. You can catch me on Twitter at Potcheck. You can catch me on Instagram at Rob Potcheck and Rob Potsy Potcheck. You can catch us right here on the YouTube. As always, Rob Potsy Potcheck. You can catch us on Twitch, where we're also live tonight. Rob Potsy Potcheck for that. TikTok, I am Rob Potsy Potcheck. The show,
Potsy and Tino show. We need to start doing something on that one too.
Yes, we do. And I think that's all of them, right?
Thanks to Adam's House Cat for our theme song, which is the wrestling song. You can get that on iTunes for 99 cents, 99. And that's it.
And with that, folks, we want to thank you, wish you a happy new year.
See you when we see you.
See you when we see you. We hope that it will be sooner rather than later. And of course, Adam's House Cat is going to take us out with a better Ric Flair than the Iron Claw.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. Sounds like a dog trying to get his first bark. Woo!
How you do it?
Good night, everybody.